Hello and welcome to That's Football, the global interactive fan channel that allows you to get involved regardless of whether you're a Manchester United, PSG, I don't know, Celta Vigo fan. It doesn't matter. Get involved, have your say and have a bit of banter. Today we're going to be talking El Clásico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, Los Blancos versus Los Culés, as they are both commonly known as here in Spain. To give you an idea of how they've both got on so far this season, Real Madrid have played 5, won 4 and drawn 1, 2 in the league so far. And Barcelona have played 4, won 2 and lost 2. Also, obviously 2 games in the league so far. But something to take note of is that they've actually had 2 head-to-heads in those 5 and 4 games. Real Madrid coming out on top both times. First game was 3-1 Real Madrid. Second game, 2-0 Real Madrid. And something that brings those 2 matches together is Marco Asensio. Marco Asensio scored in both of those goals. And now that Ronaldo's out with a 5-match ban, Marco Asensio really seems to be stepping up to the plate and showing that he could be the heir to Ronaldo's throne. Whether he can score, 50 goals a season, every season, for 10 years and break records is still to be seen. But with what Marco Asensio is doing at the moment, he's showing the potential to really fulfil the gap that Ronaldo will eventually leave behind. Staying with that, Real Madrid's strike force, they've managed to keep hold of Gareth Bale. There was heavy links to Manchester United, and they've managed to keep him. And I think if he was going to move from Real Madrid, it would have been this season. He's coming to his prime years now, and if he really wanted to move back to the Premier League, it would have been the summer transfer window just passed. But he's at Real Madrid. They've managed to keep hold of him. He's their Galactico alongside Ronaldo. And, obviously that is a massive plus for them. But you'll note that Real Madrid haven't brought in a Galactico, which is, really what they seem to do every single year for the past decade or so. A Galactico that was pretty much dead on to happen was Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid, who's actually now moved to PSG. Kylian Mbappe would have filled Benzema's boots almost perfectly. Benzema, he may not set the world alight every single game and, be scoring 50 goals a season like your Ronaldos and Messis, but he does the dirty work. He harries down, he grinds to allow Gareth Bale and Ronaldo just to, be set free and express themselves. And I think Mbappe would have done that perfectly. He's young, he's energetic, he's willing to harry down, and I think he would have got more goals than Benzema as well. And not only that, not only is a perfect suit and a perfect replace for Benzema, but he's that Galactico that Perez and all the fans would have wanted and almost needed. So, look, they'll be gutted that he's gone to PSG, but, Ronaldo, Benzema and Bale is still a fantastic strike force to have. And alongside the midfield that I'm going to talk about now, Kroos, Isco and Modric. I mean, that is probably the best midfield in the world. So people are saying, oh, they haven't strengthened, they haven't improved, you need to strengthen. With a midfield like that, Kroos is 27, Isco is 25, and Modric, yes, is 31, but they've got Casemiro to rotate Modric with, who is proving to be a fantastic player. So that midfield is really fantastic. And you don't really need that deep of a squad in La Liga, as it's not competitive games, week in, week out. The competitive games really come against Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and then in the Champions League. So you can kind of get away with a strong 11 and a slightly weaker subs bench. So, their strike force and midfield is, up there with the best in the world. But the defence is, where they really seem to struggle. Not struggle, but where they seem weaker. Where you can pick holes in their team. On the weekend, they fielded Casemiro and Nacho at centre-back. You're going to be shouting out from your screens now, what, Sando, where was Varane? Where was Ramos? Well, Ramos was out of a suspension. We all know he's a liability, and that is bound to happen further on in the season. And Varane, he's injured. He's going to come back very soon. It's not that long term, but it just gives you an idea that the fact that they had to play a midfielder at centre-back shows the real lack of strength and depth in that Madrid side. So, in my opinion, they should have got a centre-back in. They haven't. But like I said, it's not as intense as the Premier League is, so you can kind of get away with having, you know, a slightly weaker bench and a strong 11 for when you really need it. Now moving on to Barcelona. Barcelona's positives. I mean, they've really had a nightmare, and they really don't seem to be doing that well. I mean, I was thinking Barcelona's positives. I mean, they've still got Messi. I mean, he's only got 1 year left on his contract, but they've still got him and Suarez, which would automatically make them a natural threat to any team. But they lost Neymar. I mean, the possible Ballon d'Or winner. We were talking about Neymar winning the Ballon d'Or and maybe this season as well. They've lost him to PSG. I mean, if that isn't a shift in power, I really don't know what is. I mean, you know, Neymar to PSG is just an absolute, you know, it's all about the money really, and I don't like the transfer. How they've got away with it in terms of FFP is ridiculous, but that's another story, right? Barcelona, they've lost Neymar, and you know, they've brought in Ousmane Dembele. I mean, that is a good signing, and I think Ousmane Dembele will prove to be one of the best, you know, players in the world at some point in the next 2, 3, 4 years. But losing Neymar is a bit embarrassing, and it just shows a massive shift in power. They tried to get Coutinho, didn't get him for whatever reason. You know, Liverpool rejecting bids of 115 million. And not only this, they've got a very, very old squad. I mean, that fantastic squad that we saw dominate European football in the last, I don't know, 10 years or whatever it was, last 5 years, it's getting older, it's aging. And they don't seem to have great young talent coming through, like your Messis, like your Neymars. They don't have them anymore. They signed Paulinho. Paulinho, the one that played for Spurs. Right? He made 31 appearances for Spurs over 2 seasons. He got 6 goals. They signed the man for 35 million euros. I mean, that is ridiculous. I don't know where that came from. They subbed him on the other day for Iniesta. Iniesta for Paulinho, I mean, that's just a massive drop in quality for me. The average age that they fielded out the other day against Alaves was 27 and a half. You know, I can hear you saying, look, that's not that bad, 27 and a half. That's prime years. But the players that brought that average down was Deulofeu from Everton, Ter Stegen, right, Sergi Roberto, and Umtiti. They really don't strike me as world-class players that are going to go off and win the Champions League. And that's their young players, their, you know, up-and-coming potential. The rest, your Iniestas, your Messis, your Suarez's, Piqué, they're all getting to their 30s now. They're getting slower. Yes, they're experienced, but, you know, they really need to sort themselves out, Barcelona. So, look, in my opinion, I think Real Madrid will go on. They have a stronger side. They have a better manager, in my opinion. They're going to go on. I think they're going to be up there in contention for that Champions League trophy. Imagine that. 3 times in a row would just be ridiculous. I think they're going to win the league. I think Barcelona are going to really struggle. And you heard it here first. That Barcelona manager is going to be sacked. So yeah, that's it. Real Madrid winning the league, possibly the Champions League. And obviously, therefore, Barcelona not winning the league and not winning the Champions League. So, yeah, that is that for today. I'm Sander Seegers. I hope you have enjoyed my first little video on the That's Football channel. Obviously, it is a new channel, so get subscribing, get liking the video, and, you know, I'll see you all soon.